I'm Lila Harper, 28, and last night my world shattered in a screech of metal and rain-slicked asphalt on Asheville's Tunnel Road. As I lie in Mission Hospital, tubes snaking from my arms, my parents' voices pierce the fog of my induced coma. She's not our real daughter. We owe her nothing. Their words, cold as the sterile air, echo in the darkness of my mind, where I'm trapped, unable to scream. They're already plotting to claim my grandmother Eleanor's estate, their calm tones laced with greed and guilt. The drunk driver who flipped my car didn't break me. This betrayal might. Can I wake up before they take everything? Hope you enjoyed this story. Leave a like and share your thoughts in the comments. We'd love to hear where you're watching from. Now let's continue with the story. Rain pelts the windows of my hospital room, a relentless drumbeat that mirrors the pounding in my skull. I can't move, can't open my eyes, but I hear everything. Every beep of the monitors, every muffled footstep in the hall. My name is Lila Harper, and until last night I thought I had a family. I grew up in Asheville, North Carolina, in a historic Montford home with dogwoods blooming pink against weathered brick. From the outside we were perfect. Evelyn and Thomas Harper, my polished parents, Clara, my golden child sister, and me, the overachiever who never quite fit. Now in this sterile room, the truth rips through that facade like the headlights that filled my windshield. The accident replays in fragments. It was late after 10 p.m., and Asheville's misty drizzle had turned to a downpour. I was driving home from my tech startup's office in the River Arts District, exhausted but buzzing from a breakthrough on our AI diagnostic tool. Tunnel Road's curves were slick, the streetlights blurred. I should have called a car service, but my apartment was only 15 minutes away. Then, out of nowhere, headlights. Too bright, too close. The crunch of metal, my car spinning, flipping twice before slamming into a pole. Airbags exploded, saving my life but shattering ribs and collarbone. My head hit the window, and everything went black. Now I'm floating in this limbo, conscious but paralyzed, my brain swelling from trauma. The doctors call it a medically induced coma, meant to save me. But my parents' voices, sharp and clinical, threaten to unravel me. They arrived an hour ago, their polished loafers clicking on the tile. I hear Dr. Chen, the neurologist, explaining significant trauma to the temporal lobe, critical next 24 hours, surgery needed for an orbital fracture. My father, Thomas, a corporate lawyer with a voice like polished steel, cuts in. What kind of costs are we looking at? My mother, Evelyn, sighs, as if my broken body is a scheduling conflict. There's been a misunderstanding, she says, her tone dropping. Lila isn't actually our daughter. I want to scream, to claw my way out of this darkness, but my body betrays me. Adopted. The word isn't new, I've known since I was 12, but hearing it now, weaponized to abandon me, is a knife to the chest. Thomas elaborates, smooth as ever. The adoption was informal, never properly filed. A lie. I know it's a lie, but I can't prove it. Not yet. Evelyn adds, she's not our responsibility. We owe her nothing. There's a pause, and I imagine Dr. Chen's shock, her clipboard tightening in her grip. You're listed as her emergency contacts, she says, voice cooling. There's also the matter of Eleanor Harper's estate, a nurse interjects. Sarah, I think, her tone soft but firm. Lila was named the primary beneficiary. My parents' voices shift, greedy now. Thomas mutters about contesting Eleanor's will, claiming she wasn't in her right mind. Evelyn snaps, we'll be going now. Don't contact us again about this patient. Their footsteps fade, the door clicks shut, and I'm alone. Except for Sarah. I've never seen anything like it, she whispers to Dr. Chen. Their own daughter. Dr. Chen mutters, rich people. Call legal, then check her phone for other contacts. Someone must care about this woman. Sarah's voice becomes my lifeline. She stays, adjusting my IV, her hands gentle. You're doing great, Lila, she says, as if I can answer. She tells me about the weather, Asheville's fog rolling over the Blue Ridge Mountains, the kind that makes the city feel like a painting. She plays a bluegrass tune from her phone, the banjo's twang cutting through the hospital's hum. I cling to her words, to the idea that someone gives a damn, because my parents never did. Growing up, our Montfort home was a stage for appearances. Evelyn, always in tailored dresses, hosted charity galas. Thomas, with his law firm's prestige, charmed Asheville's elite. Clara, 2 years younger, was their star, blonde, blue-eyed, destined for medicine. I was the dark-haired outlier, my green eyes a constant reminder I didn't belong. At 5, I took the blame for Clara's broken vase, eager to please. "Lila's so dutiful," Evelyn said, while Clara's tantrums were spirited. By 12, I overheard the truth in their late-night argument. "You favor Clara because Lila's not yours," Evelyn hissed. "She's not yours either," Thomas shot back. The glass I dropped shattered, but they never acknowledged it, gaslighting me into silence. I threw myself into being perfect. Top of my class at UNC Asheville, a full scholarship, a tech startup at 22. My AI tool could save lives, but my parents barely noticed, too busy praising Clara's surgical residency. Only my grandmother Eleanor saw me. Her Victorian in Grove Park, filled with her vibrant paintings and the smell of linseed oil, was my sanctuary. She'd say, "You have your mother's eyes," hinting at my birth mother, but always postponed the full story. Now as I lie here, I wonder what she meant to tell me, and if it's tied to the estate my parents are circling like vultures. Sarah's voice pulls me back. "Your friend Mia's on her way," she says, checking my chart. Mia, my business partner, must have been called from my phone. I imagine her rushing from our office, her no-nonsense energy cutting through Asheville's rain-soaked streets. If anyone can fight for me, it's her. But the weight of my parents' words lingers. We owe her nothing. They're not just abandoning me. They're betting I won't survive to claim Eleanor's legacy. The thought ignites something in me, a spark of defiance. I may be trapped in this broken body, but I'm not done yet. Who else heard their betrayal? And what secrets are they hiding about my adoption? The glass slipped from my hand, shattering on the hardwood floor of our Biltmore Village home, just like my understanding of family at 12 years old. I was up for water, the house dark except for the kitchen's glow, where Evelyn and Thomas's voices carried up the stairs. "You favor Clara because Lila's not yours," Evelyn hissed, her words sharp as the shards at my feet. "She's not yours either," Thomas shot back, his tone weary, like they'd had this fight before. "We agreed to treat her the same when we took her. Took me." The phrase landed like a punch. I ran back to my room, heart pounding, pretending to sleep when Evelyn checked on me. The next morning at breakfast, I waited for them to explain, to reassure me I was loved. Instead, Evelyn poured coffee, her smile tight. "You must have been dreaming, Lila," she said as Thomas hid behind his newspaper. I was 12, but I learned that day. In our house, truth was a dirty secret, buried under appearances. That moment defined me. Asheville's vibrant streets, Biltmore Village's cobblestone charm, the scent of coffee from local roasters, became my escape. I threw myself into school, determined to be undeniable. Top of my class at UNC Asheville, a full scholarship, and at 22, I founded my tech startup, building an AI diagnostic tool that could revolutionize medicine. But no matter how high I climbed, Evelyn and Thomas's eyes slid past me to Clara. My sister, with her blonde curls and blue eyes, was their pride. A surgeon, following Thomas's abandoned medical path. When Clara got a B-, they called her brilliant. My straight A's? "Lila's just dutiful," Evelyn would say, her voice tinged with dismissal. Clara's artwork covered the fridge. Mine was filed away in a drawer. "Your sister needs more encouragement," Thomas explained when I asked why my achievements didn't earn the same praise. Dutiful wasn't enough. It never was. Only my grandmother Eleanor saw me. Her Grove Park Victorian, with its stained glass windows and walls lined with her vivid paintings, was my refuge. Every summer from 13 on, I'd spend weeks there, surrounded by the smell of linseed oil and the hum of Asheville's art scene. "You have your mother's eyes," Eleanor told me once, her voice soft as she adjusted a canvas. I was 15, desperate for more. "Who was she?" I asked. She patted my hand, her silver bracelets jingling. "Someone who loved you but couldn't keep you. I'll tell you when you're older." But older never came. After college, she'd say, "When you're settled in your career." Later it was, "When the time is right." I stopped asking, but the question burned. Who was I really? Now in Mission Hospital, that question haunts me. I'm trapped in this coma, my body a cage, but my mind clings to Sarah's voice. She's here again, adjusting my IV, her hands steady. It's raining out there, Lila, she says, her southern drawl warm, the kind that makes Asheville's mountains look like they're dreaming. She plays a bluegrass tune, banjo and fiddle weaving through the monitor's beeps. You're doing great, she adds, like I'm more than a broken body. Her kindness is a lifeline, pulling me from the darkness of my parents' betrayal. I heard them yesterday, abandoning me to die, their voices cold as they dismissed my life to chase Eleanor's estate. Thomas's legal mind already spinning, Evelyn fretting about their social standing at the Asheville Country Club. They didn't just reject me, they erased me. Sarah's voice shifts, urgent now. Your friend Mia's here. Mia, my business partner, must have been called from my phone's emergency contacts. I picture her storming through Asheville's rain-soaked streets, her dark braid swinging, her no-nonsense energy cutting through the hospital's sterile haze. We met at UNC Asheville, bonding over late-night coding sessions and dreams of changing healthcare. Our startup's AI tool, which diagnoses diseases faster than any human, was my passion. My proof I was more than Evelyn and Thomas's afterthought. Mia's the only one who ever saw that fire in me, who pushed me to keep going when doubt crept in. If anyone can fight for me now, it's her. I hear her voice, sharp and demanding, in the hall. What do you mean her parents left? They refused treatment? Dr. Chen's response is measured, explaining the accident, my fractured ribs, collarbone, and brain injury. We've stabilized her, but surgery's needed for the orbital fracture. Her parents declined to authorize it, claiming she's not legally their daughter. Mia's curse cuts through the air, raw and fierce. That's bullshit. I'm authorizing it. She's my family. Her words spark something in me, a warmth I haven't felt since Eleanor's hugs. I try to move to signal I'm here, but my body won't obey. My fingers twitch, a faint rebellion against the darkness. Sarah notices. Lila, did you just move? She asks, her voice rising. Squeeze my hand if you can hear me. I pour every ounce of will into my fingers, squeezing weakly. That's it, Lila. You're in there. Her excitement is a beacon, pulling me closer to the surface. Mia's voice joins in, closer now. Lila, you're tougher than this. Fight, damn it. I want to laugh, to cry, to tell her I'm trying. The pain is distant, dulled by medication. But the emotional wound, my parents' abandonment, cuts deeper. They didn't just walk away. They're already plotting to steal Eleanor's estate, claiming I'm incapacitated. I need to wake up, to stop them, to uncover the truth Eleanor never told me. The hospital room fades in and out, time a blur in this liminal space. Sarah stays through her shift, updating me on my condition. Intracranial pressure controlled, surgery scheduled soon. She talks about Asheville's art fair this weekend, how Eleanor's paintings are still displayed in the River Arts District. Her words ground me, tethering me to the city I love. I think of Eleanor's Victorian, its wide porch where we'd sip sweet tea and talk about art, life, anything but the secret she kept. What did she want to tell me about my birth mother? And why did Evelyn and Thomas lie about my adoption being informal? The questions swirl, fueling my resolve to break free from this prison of silence. The darkness presses heavier today, my parents' words, she's not ours, looping in my mind like a cruel refrain. I'm still trapped, conscious but voiceless, in Mission Hospital's ICU. The monitors beep steadily, a counterpoint to Asheville's rain tapping the windows. My body feels like a stranger's, broken ribs aching, collarbone throbbing, my head a dull pulse of trauma. But it's their voices that hurt most, laced with resentment I never fully understood. Thomas's regret, Evelyn's need to control the narrative. They didn't just abandon me. They're erasing me to protect their perfect image. I'm Lila Harper, and I've spent 28 years trying to be enough for them. Now I'm fighting to be enough for myself. Sarah's here again, her presence a quiet anchor. Morning, Lila, she says, adjusting my oxygen mask. The fog's thick out there, wrapping the Blue Ridge Mountains like a quilt. Her voice is soft, but there's a steel in it, like she's angry for me. She plays another bluegrass song, the fiddle's wail cutting through my haze. Your friend Mia's been raising hell, she adds, a smile in her tone. She's got lawyers crawling all over this place. I want to smile, picturing Mia pacing the hospital halls, her laptop open, ready to fight. She's been my rock since we started our company, the one who believed in my AI tool when even I doubted it. Now she's fighting for my life. Mia's voice filters in, tense and low, talking to Dr. Chen outside my room. Her parents are contesting Eleanor's will already. She's not even... She stops, her voice cracking. Dr. Chen's response is clinical. They've filed for an emergency conservatorship, claiming Lila's brain injury makes her incompetent. They say the estate should be under their control. Mia's laugh is bitter. They left her to die, and now they want her money? Over my dead body. Her words ignite a fire in me, a reminder of why I fought so hard. Eleanor's estate, her Victorian, her paintings, her savings, was meant for me. My parents' greed, their willingness to let me die to get it, is a betrayal I can't unhear. Flashbacks claw at me, sharp and vivid. Growing up in Biltmore Village, our home was a showcase. Polished wood, fresh flowers, Evelyn's curated perfection. But behind closed doors, it was cold. Clara, 2 years younger, was their light. When she threw tantrums, they called it spirit. When I stayed up late studying, they called it duty. At 16, I won a national coding competition, but Thomas barely looked up from his legal briefs. Clara's applying to med school, he said, as if my award was a footnote. Evelyn was worse, her charity gal smile fading when I asked why Clara's sketches hung in the living room while mine gathered dust. Clara needs encouragement, she said, her eyes avoiding mine. You're fine on your own. Eleanor was different. Her Grove Park home was alive, bright canvases, the scent of turpentine, her laughter filling the space. Summers there were my salvation. She'd tell me stories of Asheville's art scene, of painting with local legends in the River Arts District. You're like her, she'd say, meaning my birth mother. But she'd stop short, her eyes distant. Someday, Lila, I'll tell you everything. I clung to those words, even as she delayed, year after year. Now, trapped in this coma, I wonder if that truth is tied to the estate my parents are chasing. Did Eleanor leave me clues? Is that why they're so desperate? Sarah's voice pulls me back. Your chart's looking better, Lila, she says, checking my monitors. Surgery's tomorrow. You're a fighter. Her words are a lifeline, but the weight of my parents' betrayal drags me down. I hear Thomas's voice again, from yesterday. Isn't there a state fund for indigent patients? Evelyn's agreement. We owe her nothing. Their resentment wasn't just about money. It was personal. Thomas, who gave up medicine for law, saw Clara as his redemption, his legacy. I was the reminder of their failure to conceive, the child they took to fill a gap but never loved. Evelyn's obsession with Asheville's social scene, her need to be seen as the perfect mother, couldn't extend to me. Not when I wasn't hers. A new voice joins the room, Mia's closer now. Lila, I know you're in there, she says, her hand warm on mine. I've got your back. Your parents aren't getting away with this. Her words are fierce, but there's a tremor in them, like she's scared I won't make it. I try to squeeze her hand, to show her I'm fighting, but my body's sluggish. A faint twitch. That's all I manage. Did you see that? Mia asks Sarah, her voice rising. She moved. Sarah's quick, checking my vitals. Keep talking to her, Mia. She's listening. Mia leans closer, her voice low. Your parents are trying to declare you incompetent. They're saying Eleanor's will isn't valid. But I found something on your phone. A contact for Eleanor's lawyer, Daniel Brooks. He's coming tomorrow. The mention of Daniel sparks hope. Eleanor trusted him, her attorney for decades. If anyone knows her intentions, it's him. But another voice, faint and hesitant, cuts through my thoughts. A text read aloud by Mia. It's from Clara, she says, surprised. She's asking if you're okay. Says she hasn't heard from your parents since the accident. Clara, my sister, the one who got all the love I craved. Did she know what they did? Is she part of their plan, or is she as lost as I am? The question burns, joining the others. What did Eleanor hide about my birth mother? Can I trust Clara's concern, or is it another lie? I focus on Mia's voice, on Sarah's music, on the rain outside, and will myself to fight, to wake, to reclaim what's mine. The fog in my mind lifts slowly, like Asheville's morning mist peeling back from the Blue Ridge Mountains. I'm awake, finally, in Mission Hospital's ICU. My body a map of pain. Fractured ribs screaming with each breath. My collarbone a dull ache. My face swollen from the orbital fracture. The fluorescent lights burn my eyes. But I'm alive, despite Evelyn and Thomas's best efforts to write me off. Their words, "She's not our real daughter. We owe her nothing," still echo, a wound deeper than any crash could inflict. I'm Lila Harper, 28, and I've spent my life chasing their approval. Now I'm fighting for myself, for the truth, for the legacy my grandmother Eleanor left me. Mia's at my bedside, her dark braid swinging as she paces, laptop open. "You scared the hell out of me, Lila," she says, her voice rough but warm. She's been here daily, running our tech startup from this sterile room, fending off my parents' legal maneuvers. Nurse Sarah, my lifeline through the coma, adjusts my IV with a smile. "You're a miracle, Lila. Dr. Chen says the brain swelling's down." Her southern drawl wraps around me like a quilt, grounding me in Asheville's familiar rhythm. Outside, the city hums, artists in the River Arts District, tourists on Biltmore Avenue, life moving on while I piece mine back together. Mia hands me a thick envelope, her expression serious. "This came from Eleanor's lawyer, Daniel Brooks. He said she wanted you to have it if anything happened to her." My hands tremble as I open it, the weight of Eleanor's elegant script pulling me back to her Grove Park Victorian. Its stained glass windows catching the sunset, her paintings vibrant against the walls. The letter begins, "My dearest Lila, if you're reading this, I've failed to tell you in person. Forgive me." My breath catches. Eleanor's words spill out, revealing my birth mother, Sophie, her niece, who got pregnant at 18, too young and scared to keep me. Her high school boyfriend, my father, left for college, wanting nothing to do with a baby. Eleanor arranged my adoption with her son, Thomas, and his wife, Evelyn, who were desperate for a child after years of infertility. But there's a twist. Evelyn was pregnant with Clara weeks after they took me in. Suddenly, I wasn't their only daughter. I was the spare, the reminder of their failure. Eleanor watched them favor Clara, confronted Thomas repeatedly, but their promises to love me equally were empty. The adoption was legal, binding. "Despite what they may claim," she writes, "you're a Harper, by blood and law." Enclosed are documents, my original birth certificate naming Sophie Mitchell as my mother, adoption papers with Thomas and Evelyn's signatures, an amended certificate listing them as my parents. Sophie died 5 years ago in a car crash, childless, always asking about me. "You're my family, Lila, in every way," Eleanor writes. "This house, my paintings, my savings, they're yours, not just by my choice, but by blood." Tears blur the page. Eleanor's love, her regret for not telling me sooner, fills the hole my parents carved. But rage simmers too. They lied to the hospital, claiming the adoption was informal to dodge responsibility. Mia's voice cuts through. "They're not stopping, Lila. They've filed for an emergency conservatorship, saying your brain injury makes you incompetent to manage Eleanor's estate." Her eyes flash. They're claiming Eleanor was senile when she wrote the will. I grip the letter, my resolve hardening. They left me to die, and now they're stealing my legacy. I won't let them. Daniel Brooks arrives, a silver-haired man in his 60s, his wire-rimmed glasses glinting under the hospital lights. "Miss Harper," he says, shaking my hand gently, "I'm relieved you're recovering." Eleanor would be proud. His voice carries the weight of 30 years as her attorney. I cut to the chase. "They're trying to steal her house, aren't they?" He nods, placing his briefcase on the bedside table. "They've filed in Asheville's probate court, citing your medical condition. But I've submitted your doctor's reports confirming you're competent. The judge has frozen the estate until you can appear." He pauses, his eyes kind. "Eleanor trusted you with everything. She knew you'd fight for it." I think of her Victorian, its wide porch where we'd sip sweet tea and talk about her days painting in the River Arts District. Asheville's art scene, vibrant, eclectic, alive, was her world, and she made it mine too. "I need to protect her legacy," I say, my voice hoarse from the breathing tube they removed yesterday. Daniel nods. "We'll start with the hospital footage. It shows your parents refusing treatment, contradicting their claim of concern." Mia chimes in. "I've got a tech guy pulling the security feeds. It's damning." My heart races. This is my chance to expose them, to reclaim what's mine. But Eleanor's letter lingers. What else did she know about my parents' lies? And where does Clara fit in their plan? Sarah interrupts, checking my chart. You're cleared for physical therapy tomorrow, Lila. It's gonna hurt, but you're tough. Her encouragement, paired with Mia's fire and Daniel's calm, feels like a new family forming. I clutch Eleanor's letter, vowing to fight, not just for her estate, but for the truth she wanted me to know. My parents thought they could erase me, but I'm awake now, and I'm coming for them. Pain is my new normal. Every movement, a reminder of the crash that nearly killed me. Physical therapy at Mission Hospital is brutal. Lifting my arm feels like hauling a boulder, and standing sends shards of pain through my ribs. But I push through, fueled by spite and Eleanor's letter, which I keep tucked under my pillow. I'm Lila Harper, and I'm done being the dutiful daughter who begs for scraps of love. Asheville's morning light filters through the window, casting soft shadows over the Blue Ridge Mountains. This city, its quirky cafes, its artists painting murals in the River Arts District, has always been my home. Now it's my battleground. Mia's at her usual spot by my bed, her laptop glowing with emails from our startup team. The AI tool's on track, she says, her voice steady despite the chaos of my life. But your parents are escalating. They're claiming you're mentally unfit to manage Eleanor's estate, and they've got a hotshot lawyer from Charlotte. Her eyes narrow. They're saying Thomas was coerced into the adoption, that Eleanor pressured him. The lie stings. Eleanor's letter said Thomas and Evelyn begged for me, only to turn cold when Clara arrived. I grip the hospital bed's railing, my knuckles white. They're rewriting history, I say, my voice stronger than yesterday. We need to hit back. Daniel Brooks visits daily, his calm presence a contrast to Mia's fire. Today, he brings a plan. We've secured the hospital security footage, he says, adjusting his glasses. It shows your parents refusing treatment, saying you're not their daughter. It's enough to sink their conservatorship claim. I nod, picturing Evelyn's charity gal smile crumbling in court, Thomas's legal bravado faltering. What about Eleanor's house, I ask. They've got keys. Daniel's lips twitch. Not anymore. I've hired a security company to change the locks and install cameras. You can monitor the property from your phone. Mia grins, pulling up an app. Check this out, Lila. Real-time feeds, cloud backups. They step foot in there, we'll know. I stare at the app, Eleanor's Victorian glowing on the screen, its wraparound porch, its garden bursting with dogwoods. Asheville's art community, from painters to musicians, has already rallied, leaving voicemails of support. You're one of us, a local artist said, her voice thick with emotion. Eleanor's legacy is yours. Their support feels like armor, but the fight's just beginning. I need a weapon, something to make Evelyn and Thomas face the truth. That's when I start drafting the letter. It's harder than I thought. My first attempts are raw, rage-filled accusations that spill onto the page like blood. You left me to die, I write, then crumple it. Another version is cold, listing their lies like a legal brief. Neither feels right. Mia watches, bringing me tea from a downtown cafe. You're overthinking it, she says, her voice soft. Just tell the truth. I think of Eleanor, her paintings bold and unapologetic, and start again. The letter takes shape, detailing 28 years of neglect. Evelyn dismissing my tech awards, Thomas praising Clara's mediocrity while ignoring my successes. I include their hospital betrayal, quoting their exact words from the footage. She's not our real daughter. We owe her nothing. I attach copies of Eleanor's documents, birth certificate, adoption papers, proving I'm legally theirs. But the final paragraph shifts. I forgive you, not because you deserve it, but because I deserve peace. I'm whole without you. Physical therapy pushes me to my limits, each step a battle against vertigo and pain. My therapist, Jake, a burly guy with a gentle voice, cheers me on. You're a machine, Lila, he says as I grip the parallel bars, sweat dripping. I've got somewhere to be, I reply, picturing Eleanor's house, the dining room table where my letter will wait. Mia's digging deeper, finding texts from Clara on my phone. She's been asking about you, Mia says, frowning. Says she didn't know your parents left you here. Clara, my sister, the golden child who got the love I craved. Is she innocent or part of their scheme? Her text hint at unease, mentioning arguments with Evelyn and Thomas about the will. She's digging into hospital records, Mia adds. Might be onto something. I lean on my cane, staring out at Asheville's skyline, the mountains a soft blur, the city alive with possibility. My parents thought they could erase me, but this letter, this truth, will be their undoing. Daniel's voice pulls me back. They've scheduled a visit to Eleanor's house Saturday, he says. They're claiming it's to collect Thomas's childhood mementos. I smirk, the plan forming. Let them come, I say. The cameras are ready, and so am I. As I draft the final lines of my letter, I feel Eleanor's strength in me, her love guiding my hand. Whatever Clara knows, whatever my parents do next, I'm ready to face them. Not as their daughter, but as the woman I've become. I'm hunched over my laptop in Mia's guest room, the glow of the screen casting shadows across the walls. It's Saturday, 2 p.m., and the security app pings, pulling me from the ache of physical therapy. My parents, Evelyn and Thomas, and my sister Clara, are at Eleanor's Grove Park Victorian, their Mercedes idling in the driveway. I'm Lila Harper, 28, and I've been waiting for this moment since I woke from my coma 2 weeks ago. My letter, left on the dining room table, is a grenade, packed with 28 years of their neglect, their hospital betrayal, and the truth of my adoption. The cameras, installed by Daniel Brooks's security team, are rolling, capturing every move. Asheville's Blue Ridge Mountains loom outside, a stormy grey that mirrors the tension in my chest. They thought they could erase me, but today they'll face the truth. The feed shows Evelyn in a tailored blazer, her charity gal smile plastered on as she jiggles the front door key. It's not working, she snaps, tossing her blonde hair. Thomas, in his usual press suit, checks his watch, irritation creasing his face. Try the back door, he says, voice clipped. Clara trails behind, her surgeon's hands stuffed in her coat pockets, her expression unreadable. This is grandmother's house, she says quietly, correcting Thomas's earlier claim of ownership. He shoots her a look, sharp enough to cut glass, and dials a locksmith. My pulse races. This is it. The letter waits inside, surrounded by Eleanor's vibrant paintings, her legacy I'm fighting to protect. The locksmith arrives, a burly guy who opens the door after Thomas signs a form. Evelyn steps inside first, her heels clicking on the hardwood. Richard, check the silver, she says, eyeing a crystal vase on the hall table. I want to make sure Lila hasn't emptied the place. Her casual accusation burns, but I breathe through it, Mia's hand steady on my shoulder. Stay focused, she murmurs, her eyes on the screen. Clara runs her fingers along an antique sideboard, her voice soft. Everything looks the same. Grandmother had such taste. Evelyn nods, almost wistful. This would look perfect in our foyer. Clara's head snaps up. We're here for Dad's mementos, not to shop. Evelyn's smile tightens. Don't be naive, Clara. Lila's not recovering enough to claim this. It'll be ours soon. My blood boils. They left me to die in Mission Hospital, and now they're scavenging Eleanor's home like vultures. Thomas descends the stairs, his voice flat. The silver's there, Evelyn. Master bedroom's untouched. Clara's eyes narrow. Has anyone actually visited Lila to see how she's doing? Evelyn and Thomas exchange a glance, and Evelyn's voice turns prim. The hospital staff have been uncooperative. Besides, Lila's always been so independent. Thomas mutters, too independent. If she'd taken my advice on that driving route. Clara cuts him off, incredulous. Are you blaming her for getting hit by a drunk driver? Evelyn soothes. We're just upset, darling. This has been hard on us all. They move to the dining room, where my letter waits on the polished mahogany table, surrounded by Eleanor's bold abstracts. Thomas spots it first, the envelope marked Lila in Eleanor's elegant script. Daniel used an old birthday card to mimic it. What's this? He says, picking it up. Clara leans in. It's addressed to Lila. Evelyn snatches it, tearing it open with a flick of her wrist. Her face drains of color as she reads, her hands trembling. What is it? Thomas demands, taking the letter. His eyes darken with each line, his jaw tightening. This is outrageous, he sputters, tossing it down. Lies and manipulations. Clara reaches for it, but he holds it back. Family business, Clara. You don't need to see this. I'm family, she snaps, snatching the letter. Her eyes widen as she reads, her breath catching. Mom? Dad? What's this about abandoning Lila at the hospital? Evelyn collapses into a dining chair, her voice shrill. It wasn't like that. We were in shock. The doctors were so pessimistic. Clara's voice shakes. It says you told them she wasn't your real daughter, that you owed her nothing. You left without authorizing treatment. Thomas blusters. That's out of context. The adoption was complicated. Clara keeps reading, her face paling. There's a link to security footage. She pulls out her phone, typing the URL I included. The dining room falls silent except for the faint audio from her phone. Evelyn and Thomas's voices clear and cold. She's not our responsibility. We owe her nothing. Clara's whisper breaks the silence. You left her to die. Your own daughter. Evelyn starts. She's not, then stops, her hand flying to her mouth. Clara brandishes the adoption papers I included. According to these, she absolutely is. You legally adopted her, raised her for 28 years, and then abandoned her when she needed you most. Thomas paces, his voice rising. You don't understand the complexities. Clara cuts him off, her surgeon's precision in her words. I understand perfectly. I always knew you treated her differently. I thought it was because she was so capable, so self-sufficient. Not because you didn't think she was yours. Evelyn straightens, reverting to her haughty tone. We gave her everything. An education, opportunities. Most adopted children would be grateful. Clara's voice rises, raw with realization. Except love. The one thing she needed. She gathers the letter and documents, her hands trembling. I can't be here right now. I can't be near either of you. Thomas calls after her. Clara, wait. But she's gone, the front door slamming. Evelyn turns on Thomas. Now look what you've done. You've turned her against us too. He paces, running a hand through his thinning hair. We need to call Gerald. He'll spin this. We can say the footage was edited. Deep fakes are everywhere. Evelyn sinks back, muttering, This is a nightmare. They spend another hour plotting, searching Eleanor's house for valuables, taking a silver candlestick despite Clara's earlier objection. I close the laptop, my heart pounding but steady. Mia exhales. That was exactly what we expected. I nod. They haven't changed. They never will. My phone buzzes, a text from an unknown number. It's Clara. We need to talk, please. I stare at it, the weight of 28 years between us. Tomorrow I'll face her, but tonight I'm ready for whatever comes next. The cafe on Pack Square is buzzing. Asheville's downtown alive with street musicians and the scent of fresh coffee. I limp in, leaning on my cane, my face still bruised from the crash. Clara's at a corner table, 2 coffees untouched, her blonde hair pulled back, her eyes red-rimmed. She stands as I approach, hesitating between a hug and a handshake. We settle for an awkward nod, and I ease into the chair, pain shooting through my ribs. Clara, I say, my voice steady despite the ache in my chest. I'm Lila Harper, and for the first time I'm facing my sister as an equal, not the dutiful shadow I've been for 28 years. She pushes a coffee toward me. Black, 1 sugar, just how I take it. You remembered, I say surprised. She nods, her voice small. I didn't know Lila. About the hospital, about them leaving you. I swear her eyes meet mine, wide and earnest, and I believe her. Clara's many things, privileged, oblivious, but cruel isn't one of them. I read the letter, she continues, her voice breaking. Watch the footage. I can't believe they do that to anyone, let alone you. I sip the coffee, letting her words settle. They told the hospital I wasn't their real daughter, I say, my tone flat. That they owed me nothing. It wasn't just the hospital, Clara. It's been my whole life. She flushes, looking away. I noticed they were harder on you. I thought it was because you were older, smarter. They had higher expectations. I lean forward, my voice sharp. 28 years, Clara. Watching them love you while measuring out crumbs for me. Did you really not see it? She winces, and I see the guilt in her eyes, a crack in the golden child armor. Flashbacks flood me. Teaching Clara to ride a bike in Montford's quiet streets, covering for her when she crashed Thomas's car, helping with her med school applications. I did it because that's what sisters do. Even when jealousy gnawed at me. Even when their love for her left me starving. I saw it, she admits, her voice barely audible. But I told myself it was normal. Sibling rivalry. I didn't know it was because they didn't think you were theirs. She reaches for my hand, but I pull back, the hurt too raw. What do you want from me, Clara? She blinks, caught off guard. I want us to be sisters again, real sisters. I've missed you these 3 years since you cut contact. I think of Thanksgiving 3 years ago, when their casual admission of my adoption, after years of denial, broke me. I walked away, changed my number, stayed only with Eleanor. And our parents, I ask, where do they fit in this? Her expression darkens. I'm not speaking to them. What they did, I can't forgive it. She pauses, her voice trembling. I moved out. I'm staying at a friend's place near the hospital. I study her, searching for a lie, but her eyes hold only pain. She's losing them too, the parents she thought she knew. They'll try to pull you back, I warn. They'll rewrite this, make themselves the victims. She manages a weak smile. I know their playbook. I've seen it my whole life. We sit in silence, the cafe's chatter filling the space. A street busker's guitar drifts in, a mournful tune that matches the ache between us. Clara breaks the silence. What did the letter say? The whole thing. I pull out my phone, opening the document I saved. Dear Evelyn and Thomas, I read, my voice steady. I'm addressing you by your first names because Mom and Dad no longer feel true. Parents protect their children. You've done neither. By now you've tried to declare me incompetent, to control Eleanor's estate. You've crafted a narrative of concerned parents and an ungrateful daughter. But I'm alive, despite you. The hospital footage captures your words. She's not our real daughter. We owe her nothing. For 28 years, I've tried to earn your love. Top grades. A company that saves lives. It was never enough. Eleanor's letter told me the truth. My mother was Sophie, her niece. The adoption was legal, binding. I've included the documents and footage. This isn't revenge, it's truth. I forgive you, not for you, but for me. I'm whole without you. P.S. The locks are changed. This house is mine. Contact my attorney, Daniel Brooks. Clara's crying now, silent tears streaking her face. That's the saddest thing I've ever heard, she whispers. And the most honest. I put my phone away. It needed to be said. She nods, wiping her eyes. They called me yesterday, left voicemails about how worried they are, how they want to help you recover. It's like they live in another reality. I nod, the familiar ache rising. One where they're always the heroes. She hesitates, then asks, what happens now? With the estate? The conservatorship? I think of Daniel, the footage, the fight ahead. We go to court, the truth will bury them. We finish our coffees, talking cautiously. Her residency at Mission Hospital, my startup's latest project. It's not comfortable, but it's a start. As I limp out, the cane steady under my hand, Asheville's streets unfold, colourful murals, the hum of life. Clara's offer to rebuild our sisterhood lingers, but trust is a fragile thing. My phone buzzes with a text from Daniel. Court date set for next week. Footage is ready. I glance at Clara, walking beside me, her face set with determination. Is she truly on my side, or will she waver when Evelyn and Thomas pull their strings? The mountains watch, silent, as I brace for the battle ahead. The Asheville courthouse looms over Pack Square, its stone facade as unyielding as the truth I'm here to unveil. I'm Lila Harper, 28, leaning on my cane as I navigate the polished halls, my ribs still aching from the crash that nearly killed me. 3 weeks out of Mission Hospital, I'm not just fighting for my grandmother Eleanor's estate. I'm fighting for my existence, to prove I'm more than the daughter Evelyn and Thomas tried to erase. Today, in this courtroom, their lies will face the security footage, my adoption papers, and my will to survive. Asheville's morning sun filters through the windows, casting long shadows, but I feel the city's heartbeat, its artists, its community, behind me. This is my home, and I'm taking it back. Daniel Brooks, my attorney, walks beside me, his silver hair catching the light. You ready, Lila? He asks, adjusting his wire-rimmed glasses. I nod, gripping the folder with Eleanor's letter and the legal documents that prove I'm a Harper, by blood and law. Mia's on my other side, her laptop bag slung over her shoulder, her dark braids swinging with purpose. "We've got this," she says, her voice steady. She's been my rock, running our tech startup while I recovered, pulling hospital footage that shows Evelyn and Thomas refusing my treatment. Clara's absence stings. She texted she'd be here, but her residency shift ran late. I pushed the doubt aside. Today's about justice, not sisterhood. The courtroom is small, wood-panelled, with a handful of spectators, local artists who knew Eleanor, their faces tight with support. Evelyn and Thomas sit across the aisle, their Charlotte lawyer, Gerald, whispering in their ear. Evelyn's in a tailored navy suit, her charity gal smile fixed. Thomas's jaw is set, his lawyerly composure masking the panic I know he feels. The judge, a stern woman with grey curls, calls the session to order. Gerald stands first, his voice smooth. "Your Honour, my clients seek an emergency conservatorship over Lila Harper, who, due to her traumatic brain injury, is unfit to manage Eleanor Harper's estate. They acted in good faith, concerned for her welfare." Daniel rises, his tone calm but cutting. "Your Honour, the evidence tells a different story." He submits the hospital footage, and the courtroom screen flickers to life. There they are, Evelyn and Thomas, in Mission Hospital's ICU, their voices cold. "She's not our real daughter. We owe her nothing." Evelyn's hand flies to her mouth, Thomas's face pales, and a murmur ripples through the room. Daniel continues, presenting my adoption papers, signed and legal, and Dr. Chen's report confirming my mental competence. The Harpers not only abandoned their daughter during a critical medical crisis, he says, but filed this conservatorship to seize an estate rightfully hers, claiming Eleanor was senile, a claim without evidence. Evelyn can't hold back. "She's ungrateful," she blurts, her voice shrill. "We gave her everything." The judge's gavel cracks. "Mrs. Harper, you'll have your turn." Gerald tries to recover, arguing the footage was taken out of context, that my parents were distraught. But Daniel's relentless, calling Sarah, the nurse who stayed by my side. She takes the stand, her southern drawl steady. "I heard them refuse treatment," she says. "They said Lila wasn't their responsibility, then left to contest her grandmother's will." The artists in the gallery nod, their anger palpable. Asheville's tight-knit community doesn't forgive betrayal. The judge's ruling is swift. "The evidence is clear," she says, her voice like granite. "Lila Harper is competent, and Eleanor Harper's will stands. The conservatorship is denied. The estate, house, paintings, and assets is hers." A cheer erupts from the gallery, and Mia squeezes my hand. Evelyn's smile cracks, Thomas's shoulders slump, and I feel a weight lift. Eleanor's Victorian, her vibrant legacy in the River Arts District is mine. But it's more than a house. It's proof I'm seen, valued, not the spare daughter they discarded. As we leave the courthouse, Asheville's streets unfold, buskers strumming guitars, murals glowing under the sun. Mia's already planning a celebration at Pax Tavern, and Sarah joins us, her shift over. "You're one of us, Lila," she says, her smile warm. I think of Clara, still absent, and check my phone. A text, "Stuck in surgery. So proud of you." I want to believe her, but trust is a slow burn. Daniel pulls me aside. "They might try something else," he warns. "Stay vigilant." I nod, picturing Evelyn and Thomas plotting in their Biltmore Village mansion. The fight's not over, but for now I've won. Back at Mia's apartment, I move into Eleanor's Victorian the next day. The house smells of linseed oil and history, its stained glass windows catching the light. Clara texts again, asking to move into the guest wing. I hesitate. 28 years of her privilege, my pain. But agree to try. She arrives with a single suitcase, her eyes red from crying. "I'm done with them," she says, setting her bag in the east wing. "I saw the footage. I can't unsee it." We're cautious, navigating old wounds, but it's a start. I dive into my startup, inspired by Sarah's care to develop Bridge App, a tool to help non-responsive patients communicate. Asheville's community rallies. Artists donate to our launch. Locals spread the word. But Daniel's warning lingers. What will my parents do next? The letter did its work, but Evelyn and Thomas don't quit. I'm Lila Harper, settled into Eleanor's Victorian. Its wide porch my sanctuary as Asheville's spring blooms burst across Grove Park. Dogwoods paint the yard pink, a reminder of Eleanor's love. But my parents' latest move, a lawsuit for emotional distress, hangs over me like a storm cloud. They claim my letter and the hospital footage defamed them, ruined their reputation. It's a desperate, vindictive jab, and I'm ready to end it. I'm not just fighting for myself anymore. Bridge App, my tech project inspired by my coma, is gaining traction, and Clara's living in my guest wing, our sisterhood of fragile work in progress. Asheville's my home, and I'm building a life they can't touch. Daniel Brooks meets me at the Victorian, his briefcase heavy with legal files. They're grasping at straws, he says, spreading papers on the dining table where my letter once sat. Their lawyer, Gerald, claims the footage caused them psychological harm, that you painted them as villains. I laugh, bitter. They did that themselves when they left me to die. Mia, working on Bridge App's code at the table, nods. The footage is airtight. No judge will buy their sob story. Sarah, now a consultant for Bridge App, chimes in from the kitchen where she's brewing coffee. I'll testify again if you need me. They don't get to play victims. The lawsuit hearing is in the same courthouse, but the mood's different, less triumphant, more absurd. Gerald stands, his voice oily, claiming Evelyn and Thomas were distraught parents acting under stress. The footage was edited, he insists, and Lila's letter was a calculated attack to ruin their standing in Asheville's community. Daniel counters with precision, replaying the full, unedited footage. Evelyn's voice fills the room. She's not our responsibility. Thomas's. Isn't there a state fund for indigent patients? The judge, the same stern woman from before, leans forward, her eyes narrowing. Daniel calls Mia, who testifies about my parents' conservatorship attempt just days after abandoning me. Sarah follows, her testimony damning. They didn't ask about Lila's condition once. They were more concerned with Eleanor's estate. Evelyn tries to interrupt, her voice cracking. We were overwhelmed. We love Lila. The judge's gavel silences her. Mrs. Harper, your actions speak louder than your words. Gerald's final argument, a plea about their tarnished reputation, falls flat. The judge's ruling is brutal. Truth is not defamation. The Harpers abandoned their daughter in her time of need and now seek to punish her for exposing it. Case dismissed with prejudice. The gallery, filled with more of Eleanor's artist friends, erupts in applause. Evelyn's face crumples. Thomas stares at the floor, and I feel a strange calm. Their social standing, so carefully curated at Asheville's country club, is dust. The news spreads fast. Local blogs pick up the story, and whispers ripple through Biltmore Village's cafes. Evelyn and Thomas, once fixtures at charity galas, are shunned. A week later, Mia hears they've left for Florida, their mansion listed for sale. They don't say goodbye, not to me, not to Clara. I find Clara on the porch, staring at the dogwoods, her eyes wet. They're gone, she says, her voice hollow. I thought they'd fight for me at least. I sit beside her, the swing creaking. They never fought for me either, I say, and for the first time we share the weight of their absence. Our sisterhood, still raw, grows in that moment. Bridge App launches, a communication tool for coma patients, tracking eye movements and brain activity. It's my pain turned into purpose, inspired by Sarah's voice in my darkness. Asheville's community embraces it. Hospitals test it. Artists host fundraisers. Sarah joins our team full-time, her nursing expertise shaping the app. Mia's relentless, coding late into the night, while Clara helps with medical insights, her residency keeping her grounded. We're building something bigger than us, and it feels like Eleanor's watching. Her paintings on the walls a quiet cheer. But healing isn't linear. Clara and I talk late one night, the Victorian's fireplace crackling. I was part of it, she admits, her voice breaking. I saw them favor me, and I let it happen. I nod, the hurt still there. You were a kid too, but you're here now. It's not forgiveness yet, but it's close. My phone buzzes. Daniel. Warning of a final legal move from my parents. A long-shot appeal. I look at Clara, at the home we're building, and know I'm ready. They can't break me anymore. What's next? a new fight, or the peace I've earned. I'm Lila Harper, 28, standing on the wide porch of my grandmother Eleanor's Victorian in Asheville's Grove Park, the swing creaking gently under me. It's been a year since the crash on Tunnel Road that nearly took my life, a year since Evelyn and Thomas, my parents, left me to die in Mission Hospital, their voices cold. She's not our real daughter. Tonight, as fireflies dance in the warm spring air, I'm surrounded by the family I've chosen, not bound by blood, but by love and loyalty. Asheville's Blue Ridge Mountains fade into twilight, and I feel whole, free from the weight of their rejection. This is my story's end, or maybe its true beginning. The dining room glows behind me, laughter spilling through the open windows. Mia's here with her new partner Alex, a quiet coder who fits her fire. Sarah, now Bridge App's lead consultant, brought her wife Lena, their hands intertwined as they debate Asheville's best breweries. Daniel Brooks, my attorney, arrived with a bottle of champagne, his silver hair catching the candlelight. Clara, my sister, invited a neurosurgeon from Mission Hospital, Sam, whose kind eyes linger on her. We've just finished dinner, local trout, roasted vegetables, and Clara's attempt at Eleanor's peach cobbler, which we teased her for burning. The table, once the stage for my letter exposing my parents' betrayal, now holds empty plates and full hearts. I raise my glass, the champagne catching the light. To family, I say, my voice steady, not defined by blood or law, but by love, by choice, by showing up when it matters most. Glasses clink, their echoes mixing with the hum of crickets outside. Mia grins, Sarah nods, and Clara's eyes meet mine. A silent acknowledgement of the road we've travelled. A year ago, I was trapped in a coma, hearing Evelyn and Thomas abandon me, their greed for Eleanor's estate, this house, her paintings, her savings, driving them to erase me. Now I'm here, in the home that's legally mine, surrounded by people who stayed. Bridge App, my tech project born from that darkness, is thriving. Inspired by Sarah's voice guiding me through my coma, it helps non-responsive patients communicate, using eye movements and brain activity. Hospitals across North Carolina are adopting it, and last month we got funding to go national. Mia's coding genius and Sarah's nursing expertise made it real, while Clara's medical insights sharpened its edge. Asheville's community embraced it. Artists hosted fundraisers in the River Arts District. Locals shared our story. Every time Bridge App helps a patient, it's my pain transformed, a piece of Eleanor's legacy living on. She'd approve, I think, picturing her vibrant canvases on these walls. Clara and I have rebuilt something fragile but real. Living in the East Wing, she's navigated her residency and our past, owning her role in my childhood isolation. Late nights by the fireplace, we've talked through it. Her guilt for basking in our parents' favoritism. My hurt at being the spare daughter. I didn't see how much it cost you, she said once, tears falling. I'm here now. It's not perfect. Old wounds ache sometimes, but we laugh over reality TV, mock her terrible cooking, and share quiet moments on this porch. She's my sister, not by obligation, but by choice. Evelyn and Thomas are gone, their final appeal dismissed last month. Their Florida move was silent, no goodbye to me or Clara. Asheville's gossip painted them as pariahs, their country club status crumbling after the courthouse revealed their betrayal. Clara felt it hardest, losing the parents she thought she knew. Do you ever wonder where they are? She asked me once, staring at the dogwoods. Sometimes, I admitted, but it doesn't hurt anymore. I stopped needing their approval when I wrote that letter, releasing them and myself. The truth set me free, not by changing them, nothing could, but by letting me build a life without their shadow. I think of Eleanor, her letter revealing my birth mother, Sophie, her niece, and the legal adoption my parents lied about. Her Victorian, with its stained glass windows and linseed oil scent, is my anchor. I've kept it as she left it, her paintings, her books, her spirit. Sunday brunches here continue her tradition, with Mia, Sarah, Daniel, and Clara, debating everything from art to medicine. Asheville's community, from Biltmore Village's cafes to Montford's historic streets, has become my extended family, their support a reminder that I belong. As the dinner winds down, guests drift to the porch, the air thick with jasmine. Clara joins me on the swing, her shoulder brushing mine. Room for one more? She asks, and I nod. The creak of the swing a familiar comfort. You did it, Lila, she says softly. You built this. I look at her, at the others laughing by the railing, and feel a quiet completion. We built it, I correct. The crash, the coma, the betrayal. They shaped me, but they don't define me. My resilience, my chosen family, does. I pull out my phone, imagining a YouTube audience who's followed my story. If this resonates with you, I say in my mind, if you felt the sting of conditional love or family betrayal, know this. Family is who shows up, who sees you. Share your story below. Have you redefined family? Like, subscribe, and pass this on to someone who needs to hear they can build a life of love, no matter what they've lost. The words feel right, a call to others walking this path. The fireflies multiply, their glow a soft promise. A car backfires in the distance, and for a moment, I'm back on Tunnel Road, headlights blinding, metal crushing. But the fear passes, replaced by gratitude. That crash nearly killed me, but it also broke the chains of needing Evelyn and Thomas. I'm whole without them, defined by my survival, my work, my people. Clara's voice pulls me back. What now, Lila? She asks, her eyes on the stars. I smile, the mountains watching. Now we live. I hope you enjoyed this story. Subscribe to my channel so you don't miss touching stories. Leave a like and then comment below what you thought of the emotional stories. See you in the next video.